For those that are joining us on our YouTube,
Okay. Nice.
I want to welcome everyone that's watching us on YouTube right now. We're going to be doing the one chip challenge in about an hour. Right now we're talking some Kaladesh, mainly because we didn't get the recording set up in time to catch the beginning of this. We were just recapping. We had COVID here in the house, and we all recovered, thankfully, for the most part. Still not 100%, but we're well enough to torture ourselves with a one chip challenge. But let me go ahead and pull this. But let me pull up this thing really quick. Cal. This remastered. Alright. Maybe it's this. Looking for it right now. Bear with me. What is this? This is just an article.
It looks like an article about decks.
Damn you, Seth Monfield. Stop writing good articles and get me trapped. I'm looking. Bear with me, guys. Alright, I'm just...
There's more decks. We're just trying to find the list of cards.
Yeah.
What if you went on to, do you think
Let me do Kaladesh.
Mythic Spoiler would have it?
Card list.
Yeah.
I have faith that this is the one.
I believe that
this is the one that's going to break us through the filter.
Alright. Yes.
Okay, we have found it. Alright, we're here, guys. We're going to actually skip over the commons as much as we can because we don't want to be super time consuming because there's going to be a lot of magic cards that we're going to go.
Yeah, there are a few really important uncommons, and we'll mention those. But for the most part, yeah, we're going to skip
go over
commons
some of these rares that we see. So we're starting with this.
Yeah, so Aether Storm Rock. I mean, that card's pretty boring. I mean, might be it's fine in limited. This card's definitely limited playable. Pretty good in limited. A 3/3 flyer. But anyway, 2 colorless, 2 white. It's a bird. It's a 3/3 flyer. When it or another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 energy. Whenever it attacks, you can pay 2 energy. If you do, you put a +1/+1 counter on it and tap target creature defending player controls. So obviously, pretty solid and limited for sure. But this card probably not constructed playable at all. Maybe you could do something cool with like a Yorion deck, but even then, it's probably just too cute to be good. But
It's
certainly
a
good
limited
limited
card.
Yep,
Yeah,
certainly
this has
good
always
limited.
been a limited
Yep.
card. The next card that is a very good sideboard card, sometimes main boardable, depending on your format, which in Standard, this was a very main boardable card.
Yep.
And that's Authority of the Consuls. It's a 1 white enchantment. It says creatures our opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped. When a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you also gain a life. It was quite good against the red Bomat carriers, especially on the play. You turn Bomat carry off for a turn. That can actually take away their card advantage because it sets you up to be able to remove it, so they won't actually be able to net gain you.
Yep.
All their deck, like Hazred, Crowd Crasher, or Shaker Kendra, Haste.
Yeah.
That deck was just mono haste.
Yep.
And that was the main reason that this card was so playable out of the sideboard. And sometimes main boardable. I lost a winning in for a PTQ. 2 main board Authority of the Consuls, so
Yeah.
I definitely remember. We have another playable card. This was in some of the decks. You want to go ahead and mention it?
Yeah, this one's really important. And I there's another card, uncommon. We'll just mention it now because we probably won't remember to blatantly look at it. But I think Cloud Blazer is in this set too, isn't it? I'm pretty sure.
Blazers. That's
the
one
blue,
that
the
gains...
blue-white 2/2. When it enters, you gain 2.
Oh
draw 2.
yes, because the blue-white monument.
Exactly,
card,
and
yes.
that's right where I'm going with this. Angel of Invention is the kind of card that, if Monument is going to be playable in Historic, you needed this, and Cloud Blazer's another one that you really needed. You needed those big payoff 5-drops that you can hit with Militia Bugler, and now we have both of them. So
Yes.
I actually expect that Monument, if it has any relevance at all in the format, now's the time, because it got multiple cards that it needed, in my opinion, to be like Tier 1. So we'll kind of see what happens. This card's also pretty sweet with Yorion, could be sweet with the Orion, just blinking it, getting more servos, things like
it
that.
might need a few things to get axed before
Yeah.
it'll become tier 1 in
Yeah.
Historic. Currently,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Busted stuff going on.
and this deck's kind of too fair.
Yeah, it is very fair.
But I do think it's going to be a very good tier, maybe 1.5 at the highest, or tier 2.
Yeah.
Tier 2 is still fine, like, especially for ladder play. These kind of decks are going to be very good for ladder.
Yeah, and they're just fun. So like,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
enjoy, playing games of Magic, then these are the kind of decks that I love to play when I'm just trying to have fun and mess around.
Yep. They're going to have alternative arts in this set, and then all the gear hooks are going to have a cycle of alternative arts, if you can see.
Oh, that's cool.
Cataclysmic
That's
gear
really
hook.
cool. I like that alternate art a lot, actually.
This is a 3 double white mythic rare. I love that the gear hooks are mythics because of wild card purposes. Thank you.
Yep.
I was so worried that they were going to change that and make things misery. But to recap this card, it says when it enters the battlefield, it's a 4/5 with vigilance, some construct, artifact, creature. If you don't know the card well, when it enters the battlefield, each player chooses an artifact, a creature, enchantment, and a planeswalker from the non-land permanents they control. Then they sacrifice the rest. Card was good in sideboards. I know some people tried to make it work main boardable in like mono white decks for some reason, but overall it was a nice little sideboard card. I think blue white played it a little bit in the board.
Yeah, that's usually the deck that boards it.
Thought the card was unimpressive when it was in standard. Maybe this is the time that it'll be good, but I don't know.
I've never really got it, to be honest. I've never
Never,
understood
me either.
why people board it, but I'm sure there's a reason, and maybe it's playable in sideboards, or who knows. I really don't know.
We're going to talk about commons and uncommons as they came and as we've seen playable. This card was playable at the time, and I wonder if it's going to still be playable when that's Fragmentize. It was a very good, cheap way to interact, like a 1 mana, destroy an artifact or enchantment that was 4 or less. Because it's 4 or less, it might be good, especially if God Pharaoh's Gift is going to be playable. Because it gets rid of the small one.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
The small one.
Yep,
a lot of people did. They would just try to get rid of that because the God Pharaoh's Gift was the smaller form.
Certainly a way to combat
it. The only problem is it doesn't get rid of Aetherworks Marvel, because Aetherworks Marvel is
it's 4. No,
is
Marvel's 4.
I thought it was like a 6 drop.
No, it's 4.
Or is that 6 energy?
We're gonna
be getting to the
It's
card.
6 energy and a 4
That's
drop.
where I got to mix up. It has been a while.
Yeah.
Bear with me.
Yeah.
So that actually could be more reason. Maybe that's why I was remembering it being so playable because of that.
Yeah.
It also didn't it hit that. Well, we'll get more in artifacts, but
Aetherflux Reservoir.
Yeah, that's the one that for the mono blue combo deck.
There are a lot of artifacts we're going to be talking about in this artifact-based set. So.
I like this next card, but Steven, I'll let you go over the next card.
Sure. Fumigate. Destroy all creatures. You gain 1 life for each creature destroyed this way. It's 2 white and 3 colorless. It's just another good sweeper option. Who knows how playable it is in comparison to Shatter? I don't know. Because we also have Wrath of God in Historic. So I don't know if it will ever be played over those, but maybe. And so, it's a good option to have, at least, because that life gain could be relevant. So, that's pretty much it for that one.
Yeah, no, the card be good if it's in a more of an aggressive format. Being able to gain life off your creatures and their creatures, that's why it was actually decent against red. Yeah, there's 1 more mana, but if you can find a way just to keep them at bay, and then get them to when you have this and authority together, it's pretty nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet for sure.
So I don't know if it's better than the 4 drops. It might be better than Shatter, but we have Wrath of God in Historic, so that might be the difference maker.
Yep.
Another card which this could be playable. I don't think it'll be a tier 1 card, but we'll see. This is Master Trinketer, 2 and a white, 3/2. It's a Dwarf Artificer creature, rare. Servos and Thopters you control get +1/+1. Also has 3 and a white activated ability. Create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. This card could be fine. I don't know based on paper personally. The abilities are very good.
It's a sweet card in limited.
Oh,
for sure.
Any activated ability that don't require you to tap is pretty good.
Yeah.
The fact that it doesn't tap is pretty nasty, though. I will say.
Yep.
I like the card though. Big fan of it.
Yep. Pretty solid.
Let's talk about this uncommon, Steven. This is the one that we were talking about previously.
Yeah, you got to talk about Refurbish. And the reason you have to talk about Refurbish is now, there could be maybe a blue-white God Pharaoh's Gift again, a red-white God Pharaoh's Gift. Because what Refurbish does is it's 4 mana, and it's a sorcery. You just take an artifact, put it from your graveyard into play. So what you do is you self-mill. If you were red, you're using Tormenting Voice, the other 2-mana red spell that discards 2 and draws 3. Cathartic Reunion.
Yep.
Yep.
They probably wouldn't play Tormenting Voice because you could just play the instant speed one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the instant speed one's always going to.
That deck's got like the reason red white wasn't playable in the past. You didn't have enough of those effects. Now you probably do because we just mentioned 12. Like you can play Cathartic Reunion.
So
Tormenting
what
Voice.
are you referring off of red white?
God Pharaoh's Gift.
Oh,
still.
Well, just red white God Pharaoh's Gift.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a cool aspect.
A different approach. I don't
more
know.
of an aggressive form. Or are we looking?
I don't know. I have no idea what it looks like, but I know people did mess with it a little bit when this set came out a long time ago.
Okay, I don't know. I don't remember red white. Maybe because it wasn't like
it ended up not being as good as blue white. So obviously people played blue white, but blue white had better cards. But now red white, we have more of those cards that exist that we can play. So who knows? But the point being, refurbishing God Pharaoh's Gift is really powerful, and that might be something people do in this format. We'll see what happens.
Yep. The next one is going to be going right into a deck that's already considered Tier 1, and that's going in the Auras deck, and that's SRAM Senior, what is that, Artificer?
Artificer, yep.
Yeah. 1 and a white, 2/2, legendary creature, Dwarf Advisor. When you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. It's another way for auras to just like keep card advantage. Card's quite good. This and Core Spirit Dancer now.
Yeah. If I were playing a week 1 historic event, I'd probably be playing auras. I totally forgot that this was that deck was already pretty consistent. Now it's just going to be ridiculous. It's going to be so consistent. It's going to be honestly, it's going to be a better deck than the modern Boggles deck in consistency wise because you have 8 of the. You're just going to draw so many cards. It's going to be really, really good. I think this deck's going to be very good.
Between we got SRAM, and then we're going to be talking about like Paradox or Outcome's going to be in this set, and then we're going to have the artifact that can gain its life and then start doing 50. There could legitimately be like an egg style deck in this format.
There could be.
I think Ornithopter's legal.
I think
it's actually in this set.
Yeah, this one doesn't draw off Ornithopter, sadly.
It's not artifacts.
Yeah, you'd have to play equipments. It'd be like Cheerios in Modern. I don't know that we have enough of those artifacts.
Do we have any? Yeah, I don't know if we have
We'd
any.
have to look. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think we do, but I have no idea because they're not playable usually, so you don't talk about them or think about them.
We'll definitely have to look at the 1-drop artifacts too.
Yeah,
because that might be a thing
for sure.
Then we have SRAM's Expertise. They did bring the Expertise cycle back, and this is the 2 and 2 white sorcery. Create 3 1/1 servo artifact creature tokens, and then if this resolves, you get to cast a spell with a converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Card's quite good.
Yeah,
all these Expertise cards are just really good.
The Expertises were solid.
And then we have Toolcraft Exemplar to finish out the white cards. This is a 1-drop, 1 white Dwarf Artificer. Beginning of combat in your turn, if you control an artifact, it gets +2/+1 until end of turn. If you control 3 or more artifacts, it also gains first strike. The reason that this card was so good is because you could actually crew before I go into declare attackers.
Yep.
And that
Crew's Hardikirin.
Yep. We had a buddy that he put Hardikirin in every deck he played, even if it made no sense. We used to make a joke that when we would analyze cards and we would make a rib about them, we'd be like, "Oh, ITC, ITH, I mean, ICH." I can't get my words right.
It Crew's Heart.
It Crew's Heart. Yeah.
So yeah, that's funny.
I do want to talk about this uncommon because I played this a lot. And that's Aether Meltdown. I really like this card.
This card's sweet.
It was 1 in a blue flash, enchantment aura. You get to enchant a creature or vehicle. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 energy, and the enchanted permanent gets -4, -0. It was a good way against red. I would just like lock down a creature so it would never do damage to me. Yep. Especially putting this on Hazret.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like one of my favorite things to do. They could still activate the ability, but I'd rather them activate the ability to swing at me for 5.
Yep.
Or whatever it was. So,
yep, absolutely.
And it bought me time to be able to find my wraths, be able to find my answers, and so forth. Go ahead and talk about this bad boy right here. You can talk about both of these.
Yeah, so Baral, for those that need a reminder, it's a 1 colorless, 1 blue. It's a 1/3 legendary human wizard. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. I don't know how good this is going to be in Historic, but if there is going to be a combo deck, this card could very likely and will probably very likely be a part of it. Just really good at enabling storm type strategies. And I'm sure if one can exist, this card is going to help that immensely.
This card would have been really good, man. They should unban Reclamation so we can have fun with it.
Jeez. Oh, jeez.
Go ahead and talk about the expertise that follows up Baral.
Yep, Baral's Expertise. It's a 5-mana sorcery, 3 colorless, 2 blue. Return up to 3 target artifacts and/or creatures to their owner's hands. Then you may cast a spell with a converted mana cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Where this card usually shined was, again, combo type decks. This card was really, really good in the Aetherflux Reservoir deck, because you would remove all your opponent's pressure and then put the reservoir into play and then say, answer this or you're going to die, like next turn sometimes. So
the deck that I played against, I got steamrolled. This dude out at Stadium, that which is in basically those that don't know, he played a blue-black Eldrazi deck with like Reality Smashers and Thought Knots, and he played a play set of these as well. And have you ever had them raw expertise and then put Thought Knot into play?
Yeah, that's really annoying. That's really what this card is, just so annoying. Like,
it's unless a good tempo card,
unless you've played against this card, you don't understand how just freaking annoying this crap is.
These kind of cards, you get the sorcery speed bouncing things usually aren't good, but the fact that it lets them also cast a 4-drop to add pressure, doing things. Like, I'm telling you, when you get expertise and they put Thought Knot in, you're going to want to kill yourself.
Well, yeah, the thing is, like, you know, like, imagine, like, you're, like, a mid-rangey style deck and you, like, curved out and, you know, you didn't play a 1-drop this game and they go bounce a 2-drop, bounce a 3-drop, bounce a 4-drop. So that's 9 mana worth of permanents that just got undone and put in your hand, and then they put a 4-drop into play. It's basically 13 mana's worth of tempo on one card if they, you know, do the reservoir thing. Obviously, they're not always going to put a 4-drop in. But the point here is that, the tempo is just really absurd. And if you're not playing a very, very aggressive deck, and even if you are playing a very aggressive deck, the card can just be so freaking annoying, man. It's not fun to play against at all.
No question about that, my friend. And then some next uncommon we'll talk about because it was very good, and I think it's going to be really good in an Aetherworks Marvel format, and that's Ceremonious Rejection. 1 blue, instant, counter target colorless spell.
Yep.
I love this card.
Yep,
Card's always a great sideboard card.
Yeah, it is very simple. 1 mana counter artifacts, counter, colorless stuff.
Talking about counter spells, the rare that we get is Disallow, 1 and 2 blue, instant, counter target spell, activate ability, or trigger ability. I think this card's going to be quite playable, obviously.
Big upgrade to other counter spells that people were playing. Yeah. Just being able to counter activated and triggered abilities is so important.
Yep, I've definitely disallowed an emblem a few times.
Yep, that definitely has happened, to multiple people. That's why it's so sweet. This is a really, really good card. And I think it's going to be potentially an important one for control-style decks. It's a good card for sure.
Yep. A sideboard card that I actually really enjoyed playing out in the board was Confiscation Coup. 3 and 2 blue, sorcery. Choose target artifact or creature. You get 4 energy. Then you may pay an amount of energy equal to that permanent's converted mana cost. If you do, gain control of it. This card was just, I love take control cards, and this one not being like an aura, not being anything. It just says I keep it forever until you deal with it.
Depending where the format goes, I'm pretty sure in Standard this actually became main deckable, and depending on where the format goes, we're going to main deck it again, because this is one of the only ways you can beat Ulamog. You steal their Ulamog and say thank you, and then kill them with their own Ulamog.
Yep,
so
that is a route.
Yeah,
we'll definitely see. Uncommon we should speak of is Glimmer of Genius. Green and blue instant, scry 2, then draw 2, you get 2 energy. I definitely think this is going to be the 4-mana draw spell.
Oh, so good. This card is, I think it in the last probably 10 years, it's been the best draw spell that a control deck has had. Scry 2, draw 2, and then you get this this resource, because energy. We'll be talking about cards like Dynavolt Tower later, and you can really abuse energy with cards like that. Harness Lightning is another one that abuses energy. So just getting that energy is so big.
I 100% agree with that. We're going to just talk about these cards really quick. We're going to be brief about these ones because we want to be able to go through all the cards because we want to, around 10 o'clock is when we want to torture ourselves. But let's talk about. We have Metallic Reboot. It's two in a blue common. It's an instant with improvise. For those that don't know what improvise means, it's like Convoke, but for artifacts, you can tap artifacts to go towards mana cost that isn't. I don't know. You can't tap for the color, right? Not unlike Convoke.
No.
Yeah, it has to be all colorless.
Yeah.
But it lets you counter target spell unless it's control and pace 3. It was just a good little mana leak. You could honestly mana leak this pretty easily. Well, it was like a 1 mana leak in some circumstances.
Yeah, it usually was. That's when it's doing what you want it to.
Yep. And then we have Metallurgic Summonings.
Yep, Metallurgic Summonings, yep.
3 and 2 blue enchantment. Mythic, whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token, or X that spell is converted mana cost. 3 and 2 blue, exile this card, return all instant sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Activates this only if you have 6 or more artifacts.
Yeah. It's basically just worse Shark Typhoon. Don't play this card.
Yeah.
Shark Typhoon is so good, man.
Yeah.
Don't play this card.
Padim, Console of Innovation, 3 in the blue, rare, 1/4 artifacts you control have hexproof. Begin your upkeep, you control the artifact with the highest converted mana cost or tied for the highest converted mana cost, you draw a card. Card's fine. It might find a spot, but I'm not sure. Maybe if there's an artifact card deck, it could be kind of cool.
Yep, or in the card we're going to talk about next, and the Reservoir is where you usually play Padim. Paradoxical Outcomes, the card we're going to talk about next. This one's really big because this might just make a deck. Paradoxical Outcome is 3 colorless and a blue. You can return any number of target non-land, non-token permanents you control to their owner's hands, and then you draw that many cards. So the idea here is you play a bunch of cheap artifacts that enter and draw cards, and then you bounce them all back to your hand, draw off them, and then can replay them and draw more cards. It's a really powerful card. I don't know how good it will be in Historic, but we'll see.
Yep. Let's go through down here. All right, now we definitely got to talk about this bad boy.
Yep.
The big Gear Hulk of blue is Torrential Gear Hulk. 4 and 2 blue, 5/6 mythic flash. When there's a battlefield, you may cast target instant card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead.
Yeah, this one's really big for control decks because now you can you get to play more win conditions without actually playing more win conditions. And I know that sounds a little odd, but the win condition here is also just a spell, which is really important. And we just talked about Glimmer of Genius, which is, a lot of times what you're going to be flashing back with Gear Hulk. It's just a big deal.
Flashing back company.
Okay, you could flash back company with this card. That'd be an interesting deck. But Glimmer, Settle the Wreckage, stuff like this are all cards you can flash back, which is a big deal.
A braid
Harness Lightning.
Yep.
We talked about that. Blue red.
Well, we haven't talked about Harness Lightning yet.
I mentioned it when we talked about Glimmer, but we didn't. Yeah, we haven't analyzed that card at all yet.
Yep. And the big thing is, I just want to blink this with Yorion.
Yeah.
Like blinking this with Yorion sounds nice.
It sounds fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is where I want to be. And then we got that Mimic card that is a flip land.
Yeah.
We could easily be playing that in the deck just to make copies of this. Like, there's so many things that we can do. A lot of creativity that's going to be behind this card. The card's obviously good. The last rare that we have in this is War of Invention. It's triple blue X. Improvise. Search your library for an artifact card with confirm mana cost X or less. Put on the battlefield and shuffle your library. And it is an instant. The card's quite good. This could be good in like a Karn or the Aether Flux Reservoir deck.
Yep.
Both are very good options.
Absolutely.
We're gonna jump into these black cards now, and we're gonna start with Demon of the Dark Sheems, which is 3 and 3 black. Demon, flying 5/5. When this enters the battlefield, all other creatures get -2/-2 until the end of turn. When another creature dies, you gain an energy. 2 in a black, pay 4 energy. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control tapped. And this does not say you have to do it at Sorcerer's Speed.
Yeah, this card's
either,
sweet.
So this card is quite good.
This
I
card's
remember
really sweet.
It was definitely played.
It's awesome play for sure.
Don't know if it'll be played now, but it'd be cool to see.
All of these energy-based cards are really going to depend on how good Aetherworks Marvel is, honestly. Like, if Marvel is a really strong archetype, Then Demon of Dark Schemes can be in some builds of Marvel, like Sultai Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Is Euro still legal in Historic? I think so.
I can't remember.
I think Euro's still legal in Historic for some reason.
I think it is.
Yeah, that's wild.
I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, that should be fun. We'll talk about a couple of these uncommons now. Essence Extraction, 1 in double black, and that deals 3 damage to target creature. You gain 3 life. I bring this up because back when Kaladesh first came out, the PT, the Pro Tour, was won by Grixis Control, and this was one of the staples. This and Harness Lightning.
It's a really good card.
This card,
it's a really good card.
I like Lightning Helix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's 1 more mana for a Lightning Helix, but in black, that's a color that can struggle to gain life at times and can also use its life as a resource. So yeah, being able to do that is huge.
Yep, and then we have Fatal Push.
I mean, this one obviously is just huge.
For those that don't know what Fatal Push does, means you don't play any other formats, obviously. But that's fine. We'll go over it. It's 1 black instant. Destroy target creature if it has converted mana cost 2 or less. It has an ability called Revolt. What Revolt does, Revolt is if you had a permanent that you control left the battlefield this turn, you get this special ability or special secondary ability, where this one lets you destroy a creature that's converted mana cost 4 or less instead of the 2. Really good in modern and old formats.
Yeah, I mean, this card's insane. It's probably one of the best removal spells ever printed.
Oh, I agree.
This
is already in the set, so we don't need to talk about this card.
Born, yep.
This is already in the set, so we don't need to talk. For those that don't know, Gonti and Get the Aetherborn's in the set again.
Yep.
But we talked about that because they're already legal. Glitz Leaf Siphoner. Go ahead, Steven. You like this card?
Yeah, this is definitely one of my top 5 favorite cards of all time. It helped me win or made to the finals of my first Open, and that is Glitz Leaf Siphoner. So it's a 1 colorless, 1 black, 2/1 human rogue. It has menace, and whenever it enters or attacks, you get an energy. At the beginning of your upkeep, you can pay 2 energy, and if you do, you draw a card and you lose a life. This card, honestly, in a lot of spots, is just better Dark Confidant. And I know that's kind of weird to say, but when you're drawing a card every single turn, which is very, very possible, especially in a Winding Constrictor deck, which doubles the amount of energy you get from ETBs with this and attacks from this, you're literally just generating a card every time you attack if you have a Winding Constrictor.
Yep.
So the card is just insanely good. And, in some other formats, it's kept in check by Walking Ballista, or was kept in check by Walking Ballista. This one doesn't have Walking Ballista. So I think this card's going to be a pretty big player. And honestly, it's very plausible now that a deck like Mono Black Aggro could be good in this format. Now that we have Fatal Push, we have we have Scrap Heap Scrounger, stuff like that. So,
yep. We'll talk about this, but this is Herald of Anguish, 5 and 2 black, 5/5 improvised flying demon. Beginning of your end step, each opponent discards a card. You could pay 1 in the black and sack an artifact. Target creature gets -2/-2 until its turn. Again, maybe in a Karn deck. I'm starting to see some pieces for more of a mono black Karn style build, because you got some good nice little creatures that can buy you some time so your Karn can get its thing going.
Yep.
A lot of things that you could do with it. Be interesting to see. Then we have Lost Legacy. For those that know, this is one. It's pretty much like these cycle cards we have in the format already, but this is 1 in the double black. Choose a non-artifact, non-land card. Search the player's graveyard and hand a library for them. Exile them all, and then that player shuffles their library, draws a card for each card that was exiled from their hand. Pretty simple. We've been having these cycle for a couple years now.
Yep.
Marionette, Master, 4 and double black, Fabricate 3. Fabricate is make 3/1/1s. Is that what it is?
Yep. You can either make 3/1/1s or
counters.
put 3 counters.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a Human Artificer, 1/3. When an artifact you control is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to its to Marionette Master's power. So they could lose 1, or they could start losing 4.
This card is actually kind of interesting. This makes me want to play a black-white Yorion Blink deck. Play this card, fabricate 1/1 tokens, then play Yorion and Blink and have a Woe Strider in play. put this up to 4 power on the second blink, and then use Woe Strider to sack off all your servos and murder 'em.
Tokens technically go to the graveyard now.
Yeah.
In fact, they used to not actually go to the graveyard, but now that they do, I think they might have not actually went to the graveyard at this time. I don't remember.
I think
if
they
the rule
did.
changed.
I think they did, but I'm not sure.
I don't remember the rule change or whatnot. But regardless, this is quite the card.
Yeah, it's a cool card. Really makes me want to screw around and mess with like a black-white blink deck, which, you know, now that we have all the Fabricate cards, is super easy to do.
And messing with black-white blink, I don't know if this is relevant for it, but Midnight Oil, 2 and double black enchantment, enters the battlefield with 7 hour counters on it. At the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card and remove 2 hour counters from Midnight Oil. Your maximum hand size is equal to the number of hour counters on Midnight Oil. Whenever you discard a card, you lose a life.
Yeah.
I don't think
probably not as good as Demonic Pact in like any world, but it's, you know, it's an interesting card. It can be sweet. Now here's a sweet one.
Go ahead and go over this. Mentioning of Yorion.
Yeah, it's another sweet Gear Hulk, the black Gear Hulk, not just Gear Hulk. It's a 6 mana, 4 colorless, 2 black. It's a construct. It's a 5/4 with menace. When it enters the battlefield, you destroy another target creature. If the creature is destroyed this way, you gain life equal to its toughness. This card's just good. I mean, this is a really solid card. It's just a bigger Chupacabra that gains you life, and also, you know, can kill people pretty quickly having menace. And, you know, cards like this are really good with like Scarab God and such too. So.
Yep. No, 100% agree. Like, Noxious Gear Hulk definitely was a playable card. I think this was tied for the second best one. Like, I was a little biased. I really like this card. I definitely think the blue one was the best one.
I agree. I think Torrential was certainly the most powerful, just having flash and being a 2-for-1 every time you do it, pretty much.
Yep. Noxious Gear Hulk was quite good, but the only thing is the green one I think was played more.
Yeah, this and the green one are probably tied for second.
See,
it's really close.
Because the green one, you want to think that it's the better one, but it was just played more. I don't know if it was necessarily better.
Yeah, it was played a lot. Very good with Winding Constrictor was why.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Yahini Undying Partisan. This is 2 and a black legendary creature, Aetherborn Vampire. If those are relevant, Vampire might be. Haste 2/2. When the creature your opponent controls dies, put a +1 counter on Yahini Undying Partisan. It has an ability that says sacrifice another creature. Yahini gains indestructible until end of turn. This might be cool to be playing in Sacrifice.
Maybe.
Like, I could definitely see it.
I
could buy it. I could buy it.
I could too.
You make them sack a creature and you get a +1 counter. Like, that could be very relevant.
Yeah.
And then Yahini has an expertise. It's 2 and double black. All creatures get -3/-3 until the end of turn. You may cast a spell with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost.
Card's good.
Yep, obviously very good. Very, very good. Alright, we're going to try to be a little quicker so we can get through these last few colors. But let's go ahead and start with a Mythic, Steven.
Chandra. For those that don't remember this one.
Chandra what?
Chandra, Torch of Defiance, sorry. 2 colorless, 2 red. Planeswalker, exile, +1, exile the top card of your library. You may cast that card, and if you do not, it shocks your opponent. +1 again, add 2 red mana. -3 deals 4 damage to target creature. And -7, you get an emblem whenever you cast a spell. You can deal 5 damage to any target. This card's incredible. This card is going to be so playable in so many different strategies. This really opens the door for a lot of different stuff. Yeah, there's not much else to say there. It's just a great card. It's going to see a lot of play.
There's talks that that's like the Jace the Mind Sculptor of Pioneer.
I believe that. Yep. Yeah, I would believe that. It's so good. And it really is.
Go ahead and run down Combustible Gear Hulk for us.
Combustible Gear Hulk. It's a 4 colorless, 2 red, 6/6 first strike. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. If the player doesn't, you mill 3 cards. Then Combustible Gear Hulk deals damage to that player equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. It's an interesting card. If someone were to play a red-white version of God Pharaoh's Gift, I could see trying this card. It's an interesting card, for sure.
Yep. This one I don't think is going to get much play, but it's Fatal Showdown, 2 and double red. It's an instant. Deals damage to any target equal to the number of cards in your hand. Discard all cards in your hand and draw that many cards. Card's cool, but I don't really expect it being played, but we'll see. Then we have Free Jam Regent, 4 and double red, 4/4 improvised flying dragon. 1 in a red, gets +2/+0 until end of turn.
Yep.
Little, limited card.
Yep.
Now we get into some cards that might actually be playable. Like we mentioned, Harness Lightning. For those that we mentioned a few times, this is 1 in a red. Instant. Choose target creature. You get triple energy, 3 energy. Then you may pay any amount of energy. Harness Lightning deals that much damage to that creature. You can target your own creature and just not pay any energy.
Yeah, this card's like super annoying to play against too, because if you target something with it, you don't use the energy until it is dead, basically. So like they can target a creature, and then if you like sack it or do something else, they keep the energy with this card.
Yes,
which was always so annoying.
I agree. Hungry Flames is one I want to mention as well. 2 in a red, deals 3 damage to target creature and 2 damage to target player or planeswalker. I actually kind of like this card. I like those kind of effects in like a mono red style build. It
it's
could
a
be
cool
fine.
card.
Then we have Indomitable Creativity, triple red X sorcery mythic. Destroy X target artifacts or creatures. For each permanent destroyed away, its controller reveals cards from the top of their library until an artifact or creature card is revealed and exiles that card. Those players puts the exiles cards onto the battlefield and then shuffle their libraries. This might be cool in like your little Luca decks for yourself. You could easily do some nasty stuff because you could definitely do some stuff with this.
Yep, you sure can.
Trading in a couple of those little artifacts or like your Ominous Sun tokens for 3 Dream Trawlers would be pretty cool.
Yep.
Not the worst in the world.
Not bad at all.
Then we have Inventors Apprentice. It's an uncommon we want to speak of. It's a 1 red, 1/2. Gets +1/+1 as long as you control an artifact, Human Artificer. It was really good in the vehicles deck. Don't think that's going to change.
Yep, it will still be very good in a vehicles.
Let's talk about some mono red cards that are going to be good in the mono red aggro decks, and that's Carry Zev, Skyship Raider.
This card's so good.
1 in a red human pirate legendary creature. It's a 1/3 first strike menace. Whenever Carry Zev attacks, create a Ragavan, legendary 2/1 red monkey creature token. There's a battlefield tapped and attacking, exile the token at the end of combat. This card is so annoying to play against.
Yeah, it's very annoying. Blocking it's almost impossible. And then, the monkey just keeps coming back over and over again.
Trading with the monkey is like the nightmare.
Horrible,
scenario.
yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's just card disadvantage.
And sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah.
And then Carry Zev is nice enough to bring in expertise. I see some people talk about playing this in Jund Sacrifice because it's a good way to take opposing players on bigger guys. And I could actually see that be a realistic thing.
Yep.
1 in double red, gain control of target creature or vehicle until end of turn. Untap it, gains haste until end of turn. You may cast a spell with converted mana cost 2 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost, and that deck plays quite a few 2 or less creatures.
It does, yeah.
So I could definitely see this as like out of the board. You play this when you're playing against like opposing Yorion decks or bigger decks. They're going to have the bigger creatures, so you can take control of them and then potentially kill them with their own guy because you're taking such a big thing. Big old temple swing because you're also casting a creature. Like, such a good card.
Not bad at all.
Then we have Pia Nalar, 2 in a red, legendary creature, Human Artificer, 2/2. When there's a battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless stop their artifact creature token with flying. 1 in a red, target artifact creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. 1, sacrifice an artifact, target creature can't block this turn. God, this card was so annoying to play against.
Yep. Yes, it was. Very good card. Very good card.
Tell us about Quicksmith Rebel.
Quicksmith Rebel. Alright, so it's a 3 colorless, 1 red, Human Artificer. When it enters the battlefield, target artifact you control gains tap it. It deals 2 damage to any target for as long as you control Quicksmith Rebel. It's an okay limited card.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't deal with it, it's a problem, but it's just a 3/2 for 4, so it has a lot of ways to get killed, but still solid.
Tell us about another limited card.
Yep, Skyship Stalker. It's a 2 red, 2 colorless. It's a dragon. It has fire breathing. It can also get first strike for 1 red, and you can pay a red to give it haste. It's just a really nice dragon. Classic, good limited card. Kills people real fast. Solid card in limited.
All right, let's finally jump into these green cards. I'm going to start with a card that was one of my favorite cards out of this block, and that's Burstring Hydra.
Yeah.
2 and 2 green, 4/3 Hydra. As I mentioned, it's rare. When there's a battlefield, you get 3 energy. You can pay that 3 energy, or pay 3 energy in general, I should say. Put a +1 counter on it. It gains hexproof until end of turn. Nothing else I need to say. That card's just so good. It was so good at staying alive. And then mentioning of Hexproof, we have a 1-drop instant uncommon in the set that says target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains Hexproof until end of turn, and that is Blossoming Defense.
Yep.
The card is so good.
Yep, very solid card. And then next to it, a common we definitely should bring up because it got banned, and it's going to be very, very good. It's 1 green, attune with Aether, gives you 2 energy, and you search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. This card's great, man.
You got to keep 1 lander.
It's gonna be good in literally
this was a land.
Exactly, it's gonna be good in every deck that we've talked about that wants energy. It's good in Snake. It's good in it's good, obviously, in Marvel. It's ridiculous in Marvel because what it lets you do is you can go turn 1, play a thing that gives you turn 2 energy, turn 2, 2 energy off of either Servant of the Conduit or, various other cards, the Puzzle Knots, and then turn 3 you go Rogue Refiner, and then on turn 4 you play Marvel, you spin Marvel, you get Ulamog, or you get the 7-mana Ultimatum to then get Ulamog.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good. And, I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel does end up being a big player.
Oh, no, I think that's like an obvious one for sure.
Yeah.
Tell us about Greenbelt Rampager.
Yep, depending on how you build Snake, this card's really good. It could also be good in
And just
some
like
other...
the teamer energy decks that weren't Marvel.
Yep, aggressive decks that just want a 1-drop. But, yeah, it's a 1 green for a 3/4. When it enters, you get an energy... when it enters, you pay 2, and then if you can't pay 2 energy, you get an energy and put it back in your hand.
Yeah, there you go.
But, yeah, so really, really nice card. Good follow-up after Attune, obviously.
So, funny thing.
Really sweet with Snake, too.
If you play this with that damn 2/1 flyer, it's a 1-mana 4/3.
Yep.
Yeah, don't think that's where we're going to be, but it is an option.
Yep.
Then let's go down to another uncommon. It's Long Tusk Cub. 1 in a green. Cat, 2/2. Cat could be relevant. When this deals combat damage to a player, you get 2 energy.
Yep.
Pay 2 energy. Put a +1 counter on Long Tusk Cub. These things grow quick.
Super quick. And again, another card that with Winding Constrictor is just unreal good. Okay, which one are you talking about here, Ovaya or me? All right, Ovaya, Pashiri Sage Lifecrafter. It's a 1 green for a 1/2 legendary creature, Human Artificer. You can pay a green and 2 colorless to create a 1/1 servo. And then you have to tap it as well. And then you can also pay a green and 4 colorless and tap it to create an XX construct where X is the number of creatures you control. Again, really sweet limited card. Don't know if it'll see any play in Constructed, but really good.
I tried this in Green-White Humans, Green-White Humans. It was just good against like the control style decks.
Yeah. It's good if you can do it right.
It was very medium, but it was fine. Because it was legendary. I found it so medium.
We should definitely talk about Nissa.
We're definitely about to go over Nissa. Nissa's a 3 double green, 5 loyalty planeswalker. It's Nissa Vital Force, if we didn't mention that.
Yep.
It has 3 abilities. It's +1 untap a target land you control until your next turn. It becomes a 5/5 elemental creature with haste. It is still a land. -3. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. -6. You get an emblem. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. This card was so good against control. It still is. Still will be. And then we were talking about Constrictor decks a lot, so let's talk about Rishkar. Pima Renegade, 2 in a green. 2/2. Elf Druid. This card's already in the set, in the format, I believe.
Might be.
I think it was in the Jumpstart or whatever, but
fair.
Just to recap essentially what we're talking about, enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on each up to 2 target creatures. Each creature you control with a counter on it has tap, add a green. Card's good, obviously, but it did come with an expertise that we want to talk about. That's 4 in double green, sorcery. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. You may cast a spell with converted mana cost 5 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. This actually could be good in like the ramp Euro decks in Historic, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely. 6 mana, draw 6, put in whatever. Yeah, very good if you
put in a Nissa.
Yeah, very good, very good. Could be very good.
If they have Euro, they play this, draw 6, and put Nissa in. I'm gonna shoot myself.
Yeah.
You get to draw first and then put the card in, don't you?
You do.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty.
Yep.
This was played a little bit. Servant of the Conduit, 1 in a green. There's a battlefield, you get 2 energy. It's an Elf Druid, 2/2. tap, pay an energy, add 1 mana of any color.
Yeah, literally every deck we've talked about that uses energy. Pummeler will use it. Snake variations will use it. Obviously, Marvel will use it. Super good and important card, and it's a big key piece to.
You can take this
decks.
one.
Verdurous Gearhulk, 2 green, 3 colorless. It's a 4/4 with trample. When it enters the battlefield, distribute 4 +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. The reason this card saw a lot of play is it had really good synergy with Winding Constrictor, which we'll get to when we get down to the multicolored section. But basically, how it works with Constrictor is everything you target for every Constrictor gets an extra counter. So you 4 counters turns into 8 some of the times, and things like that. And now we also have that green-white one too from recent sets.
Yeah.
So there is a world where you play a counters deck with like 8 snakes now.
Yep. We'll be definitely doing some Kaladesh. I think tomorrow was when we were talking about, because we said Thursday, so we'll probably just spend the day doing some Kaladesh stuff.
Yep, sounds good to me.
And then Wildest Dreams. Double X and a green sorcery. Return X target cards from your graveyard to your hand. Exile it. In this format, this card was unplayable, but because we have Nissa in a format, nothing's unplayable. Like this.
And the thing is too, I think I played I played one of this card in the sideboard of Ali Antrazi's black-green, like, nonsense deck that played the 4-mana tutor Mastermind's Acquisition. So you would acquisition for this sometimes. I did pretty well at a GP with this deck, actually. It was a fun deck.
I played his mono black Niv-Miz
deck. Dude, it was a blast.
I bet his deck might be playable.
This deck actually, I think that deck actually got me to bronze that weekend, which was really nice. I went like 10-5 with it and should have done better. I made some mistakes. It was a hard deck to play. But normally that card is nonsense. It was even nonsense then, let's be honest. Antrazi decks are crazy, but they're fun. And let's move into.
I think he's a really good deck.
He is. He makes awesome decks.
I'll let you go over these top 2 cards really quick.
Yeah. So a Johnny Unyielding is an awesome card. If green-white is playable, this guy will probably be involved. He's a really powerful card. So he's 6 mana, 4 colorless, a green and a white. +2, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Put all non-land permanents card revealed this way into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. -2, exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. And -9, put 5 counters on each creature you control and 5 loyalty counters on each other planeswalker you control. Card solid. Green-white card advantage is nice. So, and then we already talked a little bit about Cloud Blazer, but I'm just going to talk about it again. It's a 3 colorless, white, and a blue flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. Really sweet with Yorion strategies and with Monument. So we'll see where that one goes. It depends how busted the format is and what bannings happen.
I'm going to briefly talk about these next 3. Dark Intimidation is 2, and then 1 of each Grixis color, blue, black, red.
This card's sweet.
Sorcery, rare. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, then discards a card. You return a creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand, then draw a card. When you cast a Bolas Planeswalker spell, exile Dark Intimidations from your graveyard. That Planeswalker enters the battlefield with an additional loyalty counter on it.
So, this is basically just a mini... It was always a mini Cruel Ultimatum. Honestly, I think the card's a lot better than it used to be because there are a lot more Bolases now. Like, the 5-mana Bolas is actually relevant with this card. The 7-mana ones really weren't. So, it'll be interesting to see if... And does this work with the Creature Walker, too? If you... exile the creature, nickel Bolas.
No, you have to cast a Bolas Planeswalker.
Oh, you have to cast a Bolas Planeswalker.
When that's cast, it's a creature.
I see. Yep.
And then we have Dipala, Pilot Exemplar, 1 red-white, Legendary Dwarf Pilot, 3/3. Other dwarves get +1/+1. Each vehicle you control with a plus gets +1/+1 as long as it's a creature. When the Dipala becomes tapped, you may pay X. If you do reveal top X cards of your library, put all dwarf and vehicle cards from them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Vehicles have played this here and there, so it might get played again in the vehicle list because there was some that wasn't playing it, some that were.
Yep.
So it's all going to be based on how you're feeling and how the meta feels for you. And then we have Dovin It's the other Planeswalker that says 2 blue-white, Legendary Planeswalker, 3 loyalty, +1. Till the next turn, up to one target creature gets neg 3, neg 0, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Neg 1, you gain 2 life and draw a card. Neg 7, you get an emblem that says your opponents can't untap more than 2 permanents during their untap steps. The card was very powerful, but its loyalty was so low for its mana cost that it just got overshadowed by everything else.
Yep, probably won't be good, but you never know. Could be playable in something.
This card was unplayable a little bit. The decks were playing in those hidden stockpile. It's black and a white. Revolt. Beginning of your end step, if you have the Revolt trigger, you get to create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. Pay 1, sack a creature, scry 1. This is a card that could be good in like a black-white sacrifice style
with
build.
Woe Strider too. This card is really good with Woe Strider.
It's a free sack.
Woe Strider being able to just sack something for free every turn, give you a scry.
Yeah,
very,
and it
very
replaces
solid.
itself.
Very, very solid. There could be something there. Who knows?
Yep.
Some sort of.
And then we have
token.
Campbell Consul. What is that? Allocation.
Yep.
1 white, red, and the white black. Legendary Human Artifice Advisor. 2/3. When opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Card's good in sideboards. Don't know where it's going to be in this format. We do have an Oath in this set. It's Oath of Ajani. Green and a white. When the center is a battlefield, put a +1 counter on each creature you control. Planeswalker spells cost 1 less to cast. Mainly the ability is what we're going to be looking for.
Yep.
And this could potentially be good in like a green-white token strategy.
Yep.
Could definitely see that. Mentioned green-white, we have Renegade Rallier. 1 green-white, 3/2. When the center is battlefield, if you have the Revolt trigger, you may return target permanent card with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield.
Yep.
Card's good. No question about that. You can go ahead and get these next couple.
Yep. Rogue Refiner, obviously, again, card that was banned in Standard. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card, you get 2 energy. It's 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 blue for a 3/2. When it enters, get 2 energy, draw a card. This card's going to be very good.
It's so funny because after our last year, this card was like, why would this be
the funny
banned?
thing is, so obviously because of just how good energy is for so many cards, it is better than the Elvish Visionary, the Llanowar Visionary. But at face value, it doesn't look much better than Llanowar Visionary. And Llanowar, the problem is energy is just so ridiculous, and people are about to remember how ridiculous energy is very soon. Mm-hmm. It's a resource that can't be interacted with, which is why energy was, why it's so powerful, and people are about to remember very soon how good that is. But the next one, Saheeli Rai. I believe it doesn't have an infinite combo right now in this format. They made sure that wouldn't happen. They did not print Oath of Nissa or Felidar Guardian in this. I don't even know if Oath of Nissa it wouldn't have been. But Felidar Guardian they kept out of the format to make sure it wasn't a thing.
Didn't you realize Oath of Nissa wasn't in this set?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I don't think. I don't think it was. None of the other Oaths have been, right? Just Oath of Ajani is the only one we've seen. So I think it was an outlier. Either way, not sure. But the point being, it does an infinite combo, but it's +1, scry 1, deal a damage to each opponent. -2, you create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature you control, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. That token gains haste, you exile at the beginning of the next end step. And then -7, search your library for up to 3 artifact cards with different names, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Card's probably not good when you can't infinite combo with it, but who knows, could be wrong.
Yep. Then we have Tezzeret the Shemer, 2 white black. Not white black, blue black. Legendary Planeswalker 5 loyalty. Create a colorless artifact token for its +1. Named Ethereum Cell, and it has the ability to tap it, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. Neg 2, target creature gets +X, -X until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Neg 7, you get an emblem with at the beginning of combat of your turn. Target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 5/5. This ultimate's quite fast, just so people know.
Yeah.
This card ultimate's super fast. Let's go over these uncommons really quick because we have a few.
A lot of good ones.
Yeah, these are
a lot of good ones
just
here.
to finish it out.
Many good ones.
All right, so let's start here. Unlicensed Disintegration, 1 black red, instant, destroy target creature. If you control an artifact, it also deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. You can flash this back with Torrential Gearhulk, and you officially have an artifact.
Yep.
I have done that quite some time.
Yeah, this card's just great. It's just murder that deals 3 damage. Yep. I mean, it's so good.
I'll do the next one, then you can do the last three for the
Sure.
hybrid cards. This is a veteran motorist, red-white, 3/1, dwarf pilot. Enters the battlefield, scry 2. When it crews a vehicle, that vehicle gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Just another good card for the vehicles deck.
Yep.
Go ahead and cover the next
We'll
one.
take Brawler. This one's going to be really good if there's a Pummeler deck, and honestly, it could even be playable in Grohl anyway. Who knows? It's a 1 red, 1 green, 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy, and then when it attacks, you can pay an energy. If you do, it gets +1/+1 against trample. These are the 2-mana 4/3 with trample twice. I mean, it's so good. This card hits so freaking hard. Really good. Next good card with energy, Whirler Virtuoso. 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 red. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy. You can pay 3 energy to create a 1/1 colorless Thopter creature token with flying. And then, obviously, we brought this card up many times already. Winding Constrictor. It's a black and a green for 2/3 snake. If one or more creatures would if one or more counters would be put on an artifact or creature you control, that many +1 of each of those kind of counters are put onto that permanent instead. If you would get 1 or more counters, you get that many +1 of each of those kinds of counters instead. So it adds energy and it adds various other counters. Really strong card. I expect that card will certainly make a splash in this format.
For third time, we're just going to go over these artifacts really fast. Aetherbrix Wazabar. We've mentioned this earlier. It's a 4-drop artifact. When you cast it, it's a colorless spell, of course. When you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. Pay 50 life. This deals 50 damage to any target. When you combo, you start gaining life in large increments, and eventually you just ping your opponent, kill them.
Yeah, this is the card that Ornithopter being legal will matter a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Aethersphere Harvester, 3-drop vehicle, 3/5. When it's activated, it's flying. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. Pay an energy. It gains lifelink until end of turn. It also has crew 1. Crew 1, so the crews are based on the number. The number will tell you how much power it needs to be crewed. You could have multiple creatures. You could pay more power into the creatures if you don't need to. So, it's whatever you want to do, but regardless, it's a 3/5. And you can give it lifelink, and it only takes a crew 1, so that's pretty nice.
Yep.
Aetherworks Marvel, this is the one that everybody's talking about. This is the one that's obviously going to be playable. Let's talk about it now. Whenever it's a 4-drop legendary artifact, whenever a permanent you control is put into a graveyard, you gain an energy. Tap it. Pay 6 energy. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast a spell from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. I don't know why I was thinking it was 10 cards. I thought it was 10 cards the whole time I've been thinking about this card.
Yeah.
But it's been a while.
It always feels like 10 because they always seem to hit. But that's the problem. Even when you miss with this card, you still hit, right? Because, you can still... Hitting something as medium as like a Rogue Refiner is still a really good hit. Like, that's a card. It's 2 more energy. This card is just insane. It's broken, honestly. There's not much else to say about it. And it is probably going to be a very relevant card coming very soon in this format. So.
Yeah. Talk about this briefly. Animation module. It's on 1-drop artifact colorless. Whenever 1 or more +1 counters put on permanent you control, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 serval artifact creature token. 3 and tap this artifact. Choose a counter on target permanent or player. Give that permanent or player another counter of that kind. This card probably won't be playable. We'll see. I highly doubt it will be.
Yeah. Agreed.
Bomat Carrier. Courier, I should say. 1-drop colorless artifact, creature, construct, haste, 1/1. When this attacks, exile top card of your library face down. Pay a red, discard your hand, sacrifice this. Put all cards exiled with Bomat Carrier into its owner's hand. And everybody should remember this, but if you stack the turn, so if you go hold priority, if you have multiples, you stack, hold priority, stack, you just get to draw all the cards.
Yeah, I think I drew 18 cards for 3 mana one time when I was playing Black-Red. It was really stupid.
It feels good, don't it?
It was really fucked up.
This card got a little play towards the end, but I don't know if it will. This time it's Cultivator's Caravan.
Yeah.
3 colorless artifact vehicle, 5/5. It also has tap, add a mana of any color, and it has crew 3, the 5 for 5/5.
Yeah. Vehicle decks might play it because they need a few more vehicles.
Yep.
We'll see what happens.
We have Dynamo Tower. We mentioned this earlier. It's 3 colorless artifact. Whenever you cast an instant source spell, you gain 2 energy. tap this, pay 5 energy, deals 3 damage to any target. It was a really good artifact in the blue-red Dynavolt Tower control deck.
And even another deck, Zach Allen actually top-8'd a GP with Esper Dynavolt Tower. So this card is good. This card is very good. Again, going back to that resource that people can interact with, and it kills creatures. It goes face when it needs to.
Yep.
It's a very good card, and it makes your glimmers awesome. Electrostatic Pummeler, the next energy card we're going to talk about. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy. You can pay 3 energy. It gets +X until end of turn, where X is its power. So basically the idea with this card is you play some spells to buff up its power, then you give it Trample with like a Temur Battle Rage type effect, and then you double its power again. You hit people for like 40 Trample with this card, like pretty often. So.
Oh, yeah. All right, you can go ahead and go over these two.
Yep, Heart of Kirin, we brought this one up. This card's great. It's a 2-mana artifact, legendary artifact, flying vehicle, crew 3, or you can remove a loyalty counter from a planeswalker you control to crew it as well. This card's just so good on offense and defense. It's going to be a really important card for sure in this format as well.
Yep, I think. Did you name this one?
Oh, Hope of Garapur. Legendary artifact creature, Thopter, 1/1 flyer. You can sacrifice it until your next turn. Target player who has dealt combat damage by Hope of Garapur this turn cannot cast non-creature spells.
Yep, and it's a 1-drop.
Yep.
All right. Let's go ahead. Talk about these last couple ones. We have Key to the City, 2-drop colorless artifact. Rare. Discard a card. Tap it. Up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. When Key to the City becomes untapped, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card. This card, this ability just says, I'm going to do some busted stuff.
I'm going to do some silly things. Yep.
Oh, yeah. I used to play this in the Emerge deck with the guys that you used to bring back along with...
absolutely.
Actually, it was funny because along with Filigree Familiar.
Yep.
We're missing a set to pull that off, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Lifecrafter's Bestiary, 3-drop colorless artifact, rare. Beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay a green if you do draw a card.
Yep.
Card was really good, especially out of the board for control matchups.
Card's insane, and I bet you it's actually going to make mono green Karn like way better in this format now. You talk about a good card advantage thing to tutor for.
Yeah.
That's
thing of Karn. We got some cool cards coming up, but let's talk about this first. Merchant's Dockhand, 1-drop colorless artifact. It's a 1/2 artifact creature. 3 in the blue, tap, X, untap artifacts you control. Look at the top X cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand and the rest at the bottom. Card's cool.
Yep.
It might be playable. Who knows?
Yep.
Then we have Metallic Mimic, which might be good in our little
Zombies, absolutely.
It's a 2-drop, 2/1 shapeshifter. When there's a battlefield, choose a creature type. It is a chosen type in addition to other types. Each other creature you control the chosen type enters the battlefield with an additional +1 counter on it. Yeah. Just makes your zombies larger. It's just really good.
It's sweet. Yep.
And then each other creature you control the chosen item, so that counts tokens as well.
Yep.
Which is really nice.
Yep. You play a master, you get counters on those.
You want to take care of this next one?
Metalwork Colossus. It's an 11-mana 10/10, but it costs X less to cast, where X is the total converted mana cost of non-creature artifacts you control. You can sacrifice 2 artifacts to return it from your graveyard to your hand.
It's going to be really good in Karn boards.
Yep.
Like, go ahead and tutoring that up. I was so confused why Ornithopter there was a mythic for a second. I was like, who is trying to meme us? Panharmonicon, 4-drop artifact. If an artifact or creature in the battlefield causes a trigger ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Are you ready for Euro to draw 2 cards and gain 6?
And Yorion doing its thing twice is really funny.
Does that really matter, though?
It doesn't until there's a Charming Prince, and then things would get really, really weird and complicated very quickly. But, yeah, the other two, I mean, we've kind of just got a lot of nonsense mythics after this, but Paradox Engine, whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control. I don't know, someone might be able to bust this, I have no idea. Then you've got Planar Bridge, it's 6-mana artifact, and you pay 8 mana, tap, search your library for a permanent card, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle your library. Yeah. A lot of chase mythics. We won't talk a ton about those just because we're trying to finish this up here. But let's kind of go through the obviously very good ones. Scrap Heap, obviously.
2 mana, 3/2 artifact creature construct, can't block. 1 in the black. Exile another creature card from your graveyard. Return scrap heap from your graveyard to the battlefield. Obviously, that card's going to be very good.
That card's insane, to say the least.
Sculpting Steel, 3-drop, a mythic. You may have enter the battlefield a copy of any artifact on the battlefield. Don't know if it's playable. We'll find out soon, though. This card is playable off the sideboard, sometimes main board. One that's Sky Sovereign Console Flagship, 5-drop. Legendary Artifact Vehicle, 6/5 flying, Crew 3. When this enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls.
Yep.
Card's quite good. Let's see, and then we just need to go over this land cycle real
Fast
quick.
lands. I mean, we've
Yeah,
got
we
the
just got the fast lands back. We also got Aether Hub. It's got Aether Hub for those who don't know. Enters battlefield, you gain an energy. You can tap it for colors, or you can pay energy and add a mana of any color. The fast lands are enter the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer lands. They were obviously very good. We definitely needed them. And we have the red green, blue green, black white.
I don't think there is a red green one, right?
Oh, I said red green.
Yeah.
Oh, green blue, I should say. Green blue, black green, black white, red white.
Yep, and it looks like there are only 4.
Yep. And then we have Inventor Street. Wasn't that all we had?
Yeah, that was all we had, which was really weird, but I believe it was all we had back then, too.
Inventor's Fair. Beginning your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain a life. Tap it, add a colorless mana if you want. Or you can pay 4 and tap it, sacrifice Inventor's Fair, search your library for an artifact card, reveal and put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Activate this only if you control 3 or more
Spire
artifacts.
Bluff Canal. Yeah, there's one more. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
It was just
Spire Bluff Canal. Yep. It's the red blue for those that don't know.
Yep.
And then we have Spire of Industry. Tap for a colorless, or we could pay a life, add 1 mana of any color. Activate this only if you control an artifact.
Yep. And so that's pretty much our brief run through of this.
Yeah, brief. There's a lot of cards. It was 2 sets all in.
Yeah, it's a very large addition to Arena, and it's going to have, I think, a pretty large impact on the metagame. I would imagine. I think there's a lot of powerful stuff there, potentially very, very good, and I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm excited to mess around tomorrow and play some stuff.
I just realized because of COVID, I haven't shaved or cleaned up like that in a very long time.
That's funny.
I think we're just gonna let it grow back. Yeah.
Nice.
I think we're gonna go hobo, Larry. You've been pulling off the hobo look for quite some time.
Yeah. I haven't cut my hair. I have shaved a little.
Yeah, you haven't cut your hair.
I haven't cut my hair
haven't
since COVID
showered.
started. Yeah, I have showered.
Don't lie to the people. Don't lie to the people. But now let's go over this one more time.
All right, and I just told Julia because she wants to watch us murder
Don't
ourselves.
open it yet, but we want to show that these are sealed.
Yep.
We have never opened these. We had these shipped to us.
Yep, they're fresh. They're fresh. And they are going to hurt like hell. It even says it on the back. It says, warning, it hurts like hell. Or excuse me, it's on the front. So, yeah, this is going to be an awful time. I'm going to hate Larry after this, because this was obviously Larry's idea, not mine, for those watching.
Can I see your milk real quick?
I'm sure you all...
I just want to make sure you don't have access to this.
Oh, my God.
But we're going to go ahead and pop these bad boys open.
Right. How does...
It's tape.
I see.
Oh, I have no nails.
Yeah, neither do I.
I got this.
Yeah, me opening this is about as
You got this.
great.
You have to open your own.
Yeah, I know.
See, at least we know it's authentic because we can't open them.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we're making... Nope. And my hand is sweaty. That's always a good sign. Oh, yeah. There we go. Look, even comes...
Jesus.
What's these little things?
Yeah, go ahead and read it to the viewers, because there's
Do you dare go head to head with the Reaper? Rules for the challenge: eat the entire chip. Wait as long as possible before drinking or eating anything. Post your reaction on social media with one chip challenge and mention Oh, we'll be mentioning you. Oh, we'll
Yeah.
be mentioning you,
All right. Well, I'm just letting everyone know right now. There's also they have this little pamphlet for us, and they talk about like how strong you are. So if you get a drink within 5 minutes, you're a featherweight.
Where's on 10 seconds?
Yeah, that's about where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna eat this, and I am gonna be whining and complaining very.
Oh,
quickly.
they're so nice. They gave us a coupon for a free bag of ghost pepper chips.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh.
Let's see. So can we make it an hour and be a heavyweight?
I'm not. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna be drinking something probably while you're all still watching. You may have taken the milk, but when this starts hurting, I'm gonna be reaching for that milk, man. I know how bad this is gonna be.
You're not a confrontational
Actually, I'm
guy.
lying. I don't know how bad it's gonna be. I can only base it upon really bad experiences I've had with eating other hot things
Now-
in my life, which have not been anywhere near
I'll
this
give you
bad.
this napkin because I'm not gonna have us touch the chip because I know I'll rub my eye and don't feel like doing that. So it looks like.
Yep.
We can't smell anything still, so that's always a positive.
I guess.
Oh, that did not even open.
Oh God, it's like
The torture. Dang. Oh, there's another opening on this side. Okay. Oof.
okay.
I got it. I got it open. I don't
I'm
want to.
struggling to get it open without actually touching it, big time.
You need help?
Yeah.
The struggle's real.
I'm ripping the paper and yeah.
There we go. Distribute this. Well, I didn't take the chip out. It's right there.
Oh, okay.
I haven't taken the chip out. I'm gonna. Yeah, I was gonna do that same thing.
Just kind of sliding it
Oh,
out.
It's just a little black chip.
Yeah.
See, it don't look that bad.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know why I'm smelling. I can't smell nothing. Mine broke. I want a refund. Ready to eat a chip?
I'm ready to
They
do
said
it.
we're supposed to eat this whole chip together. All in one.
Oh God. I'm gonna be honest with you. I might do like a bite of this. Is a big chip.
No, we gotta eat the whole thing.
We'll see. I'm
No.
doing
We can do the whole thing. Just put the whole chip. I've seen you eat Doritos. Let's do this.
All right.
Ready to just throw the whole chip in the mouth.
All right. Pass the milk.
I'll
over
give you the
here,
milk
please,
bag, but you
God.
gotta eat the whole
All
chip.
right, I'm gonna
Eat the whole chip
eat
and
the damn chip.
all right.
Here, could you open the milk for me, please?
All
Thank
right.
you. Hold on real quick. I want that milk open and access because this is going to be a bad
It's
time
like for
for
not
me.
even open. At all.
I know.
Let's spill this.
All right. You ready for this?
No, but here we go.
All right. Want to do a countdown?
No, let's just. Well, I guess we should.
All right. For the viewer purposes, and for those listening at home on your podcast, this is us going to hell, and we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Oh God. Oh God.
Immediately.
Oh God. Oh. Oh. Oh God, it's in my throat.
Eat the chip.
Oh. Oh my God. Oh. Feel it on my teeth.
There's
Oh.
like a champ.
Oh. Yeah, Larry's tougher than me. This was Larry's idea. Oh.
It gets worse.
Yeah. I know. I'm aware this is awful. Want any milk? No, Larry.
I got hiccups.
Larry's tougher than me. Oh. Oh my God.
Stephen, you took one nibble.
And it's
Finish
still
it.
horrendous.
Eat the whole thing, bro. Ooh. This is making it worse.
Yeah, water doesn't quell it, man. This hardly does, honestly.
You want
You want some? It's why I brought the whole thing
Ain't no
down.
bitch.
All right.
Oh,
And I am, for those watching. And you know what? I don't care.
I lied.
I still did this stupid ass challenge.
Fuck you. Finish your chip and you get back. I'm losing it.
Oh! Oh!
I'm so ready for you to just spit up on the
Oh! No, it's in my throat. Oh!
That's eating.
Mm. Oh my god, it's on my lips. Mm. 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 Mm.
You're gonna drink
Holy-
all that tomorrow and it's gonna re-hurt.
Oh! Oh, it's on my lips. Oh. Oh.
I know it looks like I'm tearing up. That's just me sweating from my eyes.
Ah. Oh. Mm. Yo.
Your glasses are fogged up.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh my god.
We should have two.
Oh.
Oh.
It's on my lips. Oh. Oh. Oh, this is
I
horrendous.
hope you know, like, since that's not, like, milk, that's not doing what you think it's supposed to do. Oh.
It's doing a little bit.
Okay.
What psycho waited an hour to drink something?
Shaq. God, I can't believe Shaq ate one of these on NBA Live and just. Oh. Dude's an animal. Oh my god. Oh. 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 Oh.
For those that are listening, Steven's dying.
Yeah. My lips hurt. Pretty bad.
I'm
The milk is kind of helping. Which
I
is
have
good.
2 bottles of water down there.
It smells like ramen.
I am.
Oh.
I'm sweating from the eyes.
Yeah.
It's looking like New England lost the Super Bowl all over again.
That's how hot it is. You sweat out of areas you don't even normally. Mm. Oh.
Well,
Oh.
Y'all should lick the bag.
Thank
clean if
thank
really
you
wanna
to our viewers.
oh, should we lick the bag?
Yeah, come on.
I'm not licking the bag. I'm not licking the. We ate the chip. We're featherweights, and that's okay.
We didn't make it featherweight, bro.
Yeah, we're weenie hut weight. I don't know. We're below feather, whatever that is. But we did it.
The
So,
best. Did they get stuck in your teeth?
No. Well, not that I've noticed yet.
But they are a little warm.
Oh. Yup. Yep, they are.
Are you trying to go get our free bag of ghost pepper chips?
Nope. Nope. No, I'm not. This is good enough. Jesus.
Went down the wrong pipe. You know, that was great if I just got sick on you.
I would. Bro. Oh.
I just got sad. What if Chewie tries to chew up this garbage?
Well,
Good. Deserves it.
No.
Steven, what should we talk about next week? What kind of challenge next week?
Well,
Hottest banana.
okay, I don't know about I don't know about challenges, but I think I'm going to do another SCG this weekend, one of those Kaldheim things. As long as it's free again, I'm certainly down to play as long as they're free, which I think all of them are if you were queued for the Indy. So I believe I'm going to be playing Standard again. I played Esper Doom in the last one, and went 5-1 in the first thing, and then went 3-3 on the second one. I didn't draw amazing in the second one. I also didn't play my best in a few of the rounds. I didn't even read what Coagula did, and that was just me being stupid. In one of my games, wasn't aware it could bounce humans to make itself indestructible, and I let my opponent blow me out with that. He might have left it up anyway, but I let myself get blown out by it, which was really annoying, and then I drew very badly in game 3 and lost, but I deserved to lose the match. I played like garbage in game 1. But anyway, the deck felt really good, and then I know you played it in the NRG, and you got 9th, so you had pretty good results. And yeah, I think I'm going to run it back, assuming I'm playing those events. I'll be playing that in Standard. And if they have a historic option, maybe I'd consider doing that too after we do some historic testing in the next few days. We'll see how fun that feels, and excuse me, see if we find a deck that we like. But yeah, we'll talk about that, and other than that, I don't know that we have a topic picked out quite yet, but we'll be talking about our results there, and we'll probably talk about the state of historic, because it will have we'll have a better feel for it next week, and we'll see if the things we said in this episode ring true in that one.
So we should make this challenge thing a weekly tradition.
No, I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again.
How about the gummy bear one?
No, I don't want to do this again. No more. No more. This challenge stuff. Maybe for our 100th episode, we'll do something. Maybe not this, but something for the viewers.
Definitely
try
will.
And change it up for that one. But
we'll wrap this episode up with us dying.
Yeah.
We talked to Kaladesh. We can't talk about it anymore because we're dying.
Yep.
But we'll be back. Maybe tomorrow we'll get some stuff made up.
Yep.
We'll see if we're not dead.
Yep.
But until next time.
See you, everybody.
Larry,
Thanks for tuning in.
Steven, talking Swish. Catch you later.